I'm Steve Morgan, founder of Cybersecurity Ventures and editor-in-chief at Cybercrime magazine. I'm here today with Theresa Payton, CEO at Fortolus Solutions, former CIO at the White House, and previously Deputy Commander of Intelligence on the CBS TV series Hunted. Also joining us is Matthew Hertz, founder and CEO at Pipl, developers of the Pipl AMA, the AI investigator. AMA answers questions about individuals in your investigation. Learn more at people.com/AMA. That's PIPL.com/AMA. Theresa, Matthew, welcome. Great to have you both with us.
My pleasure.
Thanks for having me. I've been looking forward to this conversation.
Theresa, we recently had Julie Munier on our podcast, and she shared her 3+ years of experience using Pipl, an online tool for cyber and fraud investigators. I want to start off today by listening to what she had to say.
I've been using Pipl for a little over 3 years. I primarily use it for our cyber investigations. We do these to make our clients aware of the information that's out there on the internet. We also do cyber investigations to pull information on others that we are investigating for other individuals in catfishing cases, identity theft, cases sort of those. And primarily it's just used to pull information, to see what's out there, and give us useful nuggets to expand further in our research on the individual.
Theresa, before we jump into AI and the future of cyber and fraud investigations, talk to us about what Julie and your team have been doing to date with Pipl and just the importance of online tools in general when it comes to the type of work you do.
Tools like Pipl play such a crucial role in our firm's work. When we're doing open source intelligence, or some people have heard the acronym OSINT, and digital investigations for individuals, Fortune 500 companies, and other types of organizations, Pipl in particular offers really powerful capabilities which allow us to gather and analyze publicly available information from online sources. They also have their own sources of information. And really, as investigators, we can sort of, kind of uncover these valuable insights and intelligence to support client objectives. I look at a tool like Pipl. One of the things they help us automate is sort of that comprehensive data aggregation. They perform some advanced searches and analysis. And the other piece that a lot of people may overlook that I think is so important with a tool like Pipl is the whole identity verification and due diligence on a level that strives for accuracy, but also to ensure that an investigation is sound. It's an invaluable asset in our firm's toolkit and other tools like it, and can be really quite helpful in assisting investigators in having an accurate picture.
Matthew, we've talked to dozens of people in addition to Julie and the people at Fortolus. They rave about Pipl. So you're a hard act to follow, but you've got something even bigger and better coming, AMA. Ask Me Anything. Give us a 30,000-foot view on what that is.
In one sentence, AMA is an artificial analyst. Obviously, it's powered by AI. And what it does, it quickly answers questions about people that can be found in data. Think about the most complex question that you can ask an analyst to look through data, and it will do it. It never gets tired or angry or hungry or both. This is at the very high level, but if you just want to get just one example, find a person that works on the operations side of the business. It's some fintech company in New York that was acquired last year, and he lives in New Jersey, and he drives a green car that is made by some Japanese auto manufacturer. And it is broad enough in the language that you have to eventually break it down into what you can find in data, but it does that, and you would find such a person if it exists.
So Matthew, we have a few questions for you, but the biggie is this. What information does Pipl AMA have access to?
Right out of the box, it has access to two big pieces of information. One of them is what a general AI knows. Like, think about ChatGPT, general knowledge about the world. You can ask it things and assume that artificial analyst has the context of what you're asking. The second part is all the data that's available in Pipl. about individuals. So you're talking about over 3 billion identities that it has access to their data, and you can ask in all different directions. There is the second level that you can get into. Once you put it inside your organization, you can basically have the AI access additional databases that you have. Those could be, folders of documents, spreadsheets, old databases. And the fun part about it is because it's an analyst, it's not acting like a software piece. It's acting like somebody that you describe. Here's a spreadsheet, and here's what it has. You let the analyst read a few examples of it, and it says, oh, that's where the name is, and that's where the address is. So instead of thinking about adding data to a system like in the old days, what you're actually doing is you let the analyst read a little bit of the data you have, get some description, and then you can make your internal data available for that investigation. So that second layer is actually the one we're excited the most about, because that's usually what's hard for bigger organizations that have stores of data, but it's really hard to make them accessible to analysts right at the moment, especially when they're obscure and sometimes don't have that much data, but that's the one piece that helps all the investigation is hiding there.
So, Theresa, for a lot of people, time is money, but for your organization, time is sometimes the difference between catching a perpetrator and not. When you listen to what Matthew's describing, is this going to make a difference?
Oh, it absolutely will make a difference. I mean, this opportunity, not just to tap into publicly available knowledge, but your own knowledge that could be buried in sort of case files. This will provide invaluable support really to both kind of cyber and fraud investigators. So anybody who's conducting any type of digital investigation, anytime that you can kind of dig into the knowledge you have and then correlate and collate the knowledge that came from other sources, and to do that in a semi-automated way for analysis, it is huge. I think, the other piece that people may not realize here, because, sometimes people get confused. And when you say we're doing a digital investigation, sometimes they think, so you're doing a lot of Google searches. And, no offense to Google, but there's something about an investigative mindset where a tool that's built like Pipl for investigators, there's more to it than just a sophisticated search. There's also consideration of legal and ethical standards, which investigators have to follow, because you're investigating something hopefully to lead to, okay, nothing really bad has happened, or gosh, I found something, there's a finding here, and now some type of action has to be taken. And you have to have that investigative mindset that thinks through legal, compliance, ethical standards and frameworks to ensure that the results of your investigation are not only sound, but actionable. And so that's where something where this automation that you're talking about, Matthew, in Pipl is so compelling, but also, anybody can say, well, I'm going to automate that too. But developing a tool by investigators for investigators that considers this, I think is a real game changer that's needed for the industry.
So, Matthew, we have a global audience of cybersecurity professionals who follow us, a lot of investigators. They're very serious people, but they also love fun facts. So I'm going to ask you to help us out here and to close out with, where did you get the name Pipl and the pronunciation? Because it's brilliant and it's great branding, even if that wasn't the intention. P-I-P-L, Pipl. Is that you, or did somebody else come up with that?
We actually started with a deep web search engine that wasn't specifically just for people. In the first year, we're searching for people, company information, and generally just if you want to have a deep web search for just a keyword. And very quickly, and I think that's tells a story about how we do products. We look at what users were doing, and we saw that 80% of the users went to the Pipl search and the rest went for the rest. So we said, well, we have here is a Pipl search engine, and we better be really good at finding people. Instead of being a broad solution. And that also meant that we had to find a name that would fit. At the time, Pipl magazine was very popular. So Pipl.com with the right spelling was pretty expensive. So we went on the Twitter route. I don't know if you remember, the original domain of Twitter was like TWTR or something before they could afford themselves to buy Twitter. So we actually just found that domain to be free and close enough to the pronunciation. So that was it. I think, yes, it is something that stayed for a very long time because it does provide the essence of what we do.
Great. Well, thank you for sharing that. And Theresa, we have a new series that's kicking off. It's sponsored by Pipl. So we're excited to do that with you, and we'll talk soon.
Well, thanks for having me on, Matthew. Keep doing great work out there. And Steve, thank you for bringing us together for a very important conversation.
Thank you, Matthew. Look forward to catching up with you soon.
Likewise, thank you, Theresa, and thank you as well.
I'm Steve Morgan, founder of Cybersecurity Ventures and editor-in-chief at Cybercrime Magazine. You can keep up with all of our media at cybercrimemagazine.com.